What's up, everyone? This is Brad from H2Vinyl. I've got Bato sleeping right next to me. Well, he's not really sleeping right now, but he's doing well. Anyway, this is a contest video for Ron Haggerty. Ron, it just hit, what was it, 2 or 3 weeks ago, hit 500 subs, and it feels just like yesterday that I did a 300 subs. I think that was, when was that? Was that in late December, early January? I don't know. Maybe it was February, who knows. He hit the 500 subs. The last contest, I think, was 300 subs. So just in a short span. Congratulations, Ron. It's awesome. And his contest is pick 25 items, 5 different genres of 5 different modes of entertainment, basically. You can pick music, you can pick movies, you can pick pretty much anything. There were a few stipulations, but I won't hit any of those. So anyway, so basically 5 of 5. And so there are 25 items. I have a whole lot more here, but they all tie together. So I'm just gonna go through it. And so I'm gonna start with the one that a lot of people have done already, and that is hey buddy, hey, leave that plastic alone, okay? Thank you. The first one I'm gonna do is movies, and so I think I got my 5 here. Oh. Yep, got my 5 here. This is my second time doing this video because the first video ran on beyond an hour and I wanted to cut it down. But anyway, so we'll see if this goes any faster. My first, my actually absolute favorite movie is the movie Snatch. I have this on DVD. Do not have it on Blu-ray. I don't know why. Snatch stars Brad Pitt, Jason Statham, and a whole bunch of other people that I don't know their name. Football or soccer player, a huge guy or maybe it was rugby. I think he played rugby. Vinnie Jones, that's it. I see his name right there. Movie, if you haven't seen it, it's edited beautifully. It's a movie about a diamond the size of a fist and a robbery, and how all of these 15 to 20 characters tie together at the end. And so watching it all the way through, brilliant movie. Another one is one of my favorites. This is a comedy. Brilliant comedy by Mike Judd, and that is Office Space. I can't tell you how many times my job has looked like a part of this movie, and I'm certain your job has too. So Office Space, so quotable. The last movie was the movie Snatch is so quotable as well. Mike Judd is a genius. If you don't know Mike Judd, Beavis and Butthead and King of the Hill. Another kind of a romantic comedy, but having to do with vinyl, and that is High Fidelity. Record store owner John Cusack basically ruins his life due to all of the relationships that he has, and you get to see him process all of that while still trying to maintain ownership of a record store and everything like that. So this is a classic. I love this. I'm a big guy who loves sci-fi. I'm big into sci-fi, that's what I mean. I'm a big guy too. Anyway, this is Blu-ray of The Matrix. I did not see this in theater. That's probably one thing in life that I wished I could change. Everyone knows The Matrix. Just the ability to watch this and try and get your head around what exactly is the Matrix? And by the time you're done, I remember coming out and I'm like, are we in the Matrix right now? I don't know, are we? Yeah, classic 1998 film, I believe. And fun fact, I don't know if this is true or not, but Keanu Reeves wasn't the first person to take the role of Neo, and it was offered to Will Smith beforehand, and he said no because he's like, how do you adequately describe the concept of the Matrix? And so he decided to Wild Wild West. He decided to do the movie Wild Wild West instead of the Matrix. I don't know if that's true, but anyway. And then another movie that I don't watch as much, just because it is long and what is it? It's like almost 3 hours long, and that is, I think the best movie, my favorite movie, definitely of the trilogy of the Dark Knight, Batman movies by Christopher Nolan. If you haven't seen this, the Joker. I always want to say Orlando Bloom, but it's Heath Ledger. Heath Ledger, the writing of his character and the acting of his character stole the show. I don't watch this for Christian Bale's reenactment of Batman. I personally think he does a horrible job at Batman. Not too bad at Bruce Wayne, but it's just the voice. Anyway, but Heath Ledger, whew, and unfortunately I'm really sad that Ledger was going through a lot of things after the movie and after the movie's recording and took his life. I've got a list here of things so I don't make sure that I didn't miss anything, but those are my 5 movies. And then I'm going to go into video games because I am a video game guy. I don't play them as much as I used to, but definitely still love them. My absolute favorite video game might not come to a surprise to some of you. I mentioned this several times on my channel, and that is Mega Man 2. Made by Capcom in '88, I believe. This is my original game that I got for Christmas of '88 or '89. I remember looking at the one photo of it in the Sears catalog, and over the course of 3 or 4 months, and just wanting to be able to play this game. And I had not played any other Mega Man game. Well, there was only one before it, but anyway, as I was getting ready to make this video, I couldn't find this, and I'm like, well, I'll just mention it, but it really made me upset that I couldn't find this game. And I don't remember the last time I played this game, and so I just so happened to look inside the Nintendo, and there it was. So, yeah. Still have my original Nintendo and still definitely have this game. I have a few other Nintendo games, but that is definitely one of my favorites. And I actually have Mega Man 1 through Mega Man 5 on the Nintendo, but Mega Man 2 is definitely my favorite. Another favorite one of mine is Metal Gear Solid. This is the original for the PlayStation, released in late 98, late or early 99. I remember playing it with friends during living in an apartment in Oklahoma, which that was the year of 99. Originally had it for the PlayStation. I sold my PlayStation and sold that game with it, and then picked this up, I think, in the year 2000. Yeah, this is weird. It's distributed by Microsoft Corp, but this is for the PC, and I'm going to guess it's for Windows 95 and Windows 98, so good luck playing that now. But this is a brilliant game. It's one of the first games that was made kind of like a movie, and I don't know why I'm showing the disc, but Yeah, made by Hideo Kojima, who made the original series for the Nintendo and the MSX system in Japan. If you haven't played this game, I highly recommend at least watching somebody play it on YouTube. There is a channel on YouTube called PlayStation Access, and it was around Christmas of last year, so Christmas 2017. Two people tag teamed playing this game who had never played it before, and then a veteran of the game was in the room next to them and kind of made fun of them as they kept on getting things wrong. Hey buddy, we're going to take this plastic away from you. I know you love playing with plastic, but Dad's making a video. Number 3. Yes, 3. The third video game is, I did like, back in the day, Japanese role-playing games, and this is a lot of people hold this as the best one ever made, and it actually says quite possibly the greatest game ever made on the back. I would agree with that. This is Final Fantasy VII. I've played through this game a few times. Definitely could get 30, 40, 50 hours into this game. And really, the thing that keeps me coming back to this game is the villain. Sephiroth is his name, and you just kind of want to see what he's going to do next. And you also kind of want to be him. Love PlayStation games. They're black on the back. They do that just to be cool. Another PlayStation game and another Capcom game. This number 4 is Resident Evil. Definitely one of the very first, if not the first, strategy type horror, survival horror game ever made. I remember playing this on my original PlayStation late at night with a friend because I couldn't play this game on my own. And we got through killing a shark. We got through killing a big zombie plant, and we were lost for hours and hours and hours. And we decided we knew what we needed to do. We needed to go to this certain part of the house, and we did. And as we did, an enemy came and chopped our head off, and we hadn't saved for 3 or 4 hours, and so we had to do that all over again. And my friend, it was about 2 in the morning. We were both trying to be quiet and not be terrified at the same time. It was 2 in the morning, and my friend was like, "Well, I guess I'm going to go home." And so the next day was me playing through this again so that we would be able to continue on in the story later that evening, the next day. And then the 5th game is Halo. I love the Halo series, and this I actually have the disc of. Oops, there it is. It's for the original Xbox, and I love this game so much that I have 2 other copies of it. So a total of 3 copies of this game, but unfortunately both my other copies are missing the discs. One of them I remember when I totaled my Jeep was in the back seat when I lived in Kentucky. I totaled my Jeep, and the other one was one of them. These copies was in the back seat and got fried by the hot Kentucky sun. Called them on that, and they said, "Yeah, we can't do anything about it. You have to buy another one." So, me, a poor college kid, seminary student actually, had to buy another $40 version of a video game I already had. All right, so now covered movies and video games. Now it's to anime. Big anime fan. Not as much as I used to be, but still have a good collection of anime going. And my absolute first anime that I have ever seen and loved was Akira. I've mentioned Akira in this channel before with buying the soundtrack a couple of months ago. Akira, if you haven't seen it, it is phenomenal. Released in 1988, 1989, somewhere around there. And hand-drawn, everything's hand-drawn. And it's about a story of two kids, best friends. One's Kaneda, that's him in the front with his bike. And then the other one, Tetsuo. And Tetsuo, they're both biker, they're part of a biker gang. And Tetsuo, due to some freak accident, is given superpowers. And basically becomes evil after that. And it's up to Kaneda, his best friend, to stop him. And so that's there's more intrigue and more complexity. It's anime, of course. There's more complexity in it, but that's the story in a nutshell. It's really, really good. The next anime that is a series that I have probably let probably close to a dozen people borrow, maybe even 24 people borrow, and they absolutely love it. Along with me, I love this series as well. And this is Cowboy Bebop. It's 6 DVDs. Probably, I think it's just 1 Blu-ray, but 24 episodes. It's either 24 or 26. So 2 seasons worth, and it's about bounty hunters, Spike and Jet, who have to catch bad guys, and they don't do so hot at it sometimes. But then they also have pasts, and the big one is Spike's past and how it affects the entire group. And I remember finishing this, and was it? I love the main character Spike so much that that the ending kind of put me in a kind of a depressed mood for a day or two. Anyway, still really good. Highly recommend it. And then another one that I would highly recommend is Trigun. It's a little odd, this anime, but it's about a guy named Vash the Stampede. Then any time that he goes into a city, the city is destroyed, and so there's a big a warrant for his arrest, big bounty. That's the word I want. Bounty on him. But as you dig more into the character, you find a lot of about his past and how not everything is his fault. And so this DVD, I think this is made by Pioneer, is distributed by Pioneer, but it folds out, and it's a 3 DVD set. So pretty cool.
That was a pretty close one. Almost bought the farm back there. It's actually a miracle that I got away with it this time.
I found him! Over there!
Perfect shot!
All right, and the 5th anime that I want to talk about is kind of Blade Runner-esque, and this is Ghost in the Shell. Ghost in the Shell has seen a live movie. I haven't seen the live movie that was released last year or the year before, I don't remember. This is the 2nd season to the television show. They have some stuff on Netflix as well. But I think there are 3 or 4, maybe 4 movies now. They're all great. I have probably 20 hours of Ghost in the Shell stuff. And this is their television show, standalone complex. This is the 2nd gig, which is the 2nd season. And describe Ghost in the Shell. It's very... a lot of times it goes over my head, so you have to I have to watch it a few times to kind of get what's going on. But it's people who are able to be cyberized with cybernetic implants allowing their brains and their eyes and different parts of their body to be hacked. And so because this crimes have escalated, like the level of these types of crimes have escalated, now law enforcement has to escalate as well. And so public security section 9 is made, and this is the group right here, all the cast members of section 9, and seeing their interaction and how they're able to catch, and all of these people are just amazing at what they do, and just to be able to see the teamwork and everything. And so this guy right here, I don't know if you can see him, see if that focuses. That's Bato right there. Yeah, that's Bato right there. And so Bato, my cat, got the name from that badass. Yeah, I think I'll show you some clips of him being awesome.
What the hell do you want?
We want to talk to a guy by the name of Wakabayashi. Go get him.
Didn't you promise no shooting?
I really tried, I swear. They pulled out their guns.
All right, so the next form of entertainment that I enjoy are audiobooks. I do read a lot for work. I don't do a lot of reading books just because I have so many things to do to take care of the house. I'm gone a lot from home, and so I find myself listening to a lot of audiobooks when I'm not listening to new music in the car to work, and sometimes I listen to them at work too. Yeah, anyway. So these are 5 series that I would recommend for you, Ron, and anyone watching this video. The first one is a book series by Daniel Suarez. The first book is called Demon, D-A-E-M-O-N, and in real life, demon in this sense means a computer program, computer software, where if certain criteria are met, this program runs. And so it's kind of almost like an if I pick up this Xbox One controller or Xbox 360 controller, then Bato will meow. Kind of something like that. He's not written that way. He meows when he wants to. Anyway, so Demon or Damon, this book, it starts off with a video game programmer, brilliant man. This is all fictitious, by the way. Brilliant man named by Matthew Sobel dies, and this event of his death triggers a slew of events that have the FBI, the local cops, the CIA, the NSA, all up in arms for what is happening. And I remember listening, I'm trying to say this without any spoilers, I remember listening to or watching a video podcast. It may have been on Tech TV. I'm not sure if it was on satellite or cable. But I remember hearing Leo Laporte talk about this book and the fact that with experts that this book could really happen if you had someone as genius as the villain in this book, if you really had them be able to write code as well as this person did. So that's Demon, and then the book after that is Freedom TM, and so that's the sequel. And so those are the 2 books that I would recommend from Daniel Suarez. The next is a sci-fi series called the Lost Fleet series, written by Jack Campbell, which is the pen name of a man named John G. Hemery. You can get all of these books on Amazon or Audible, I mean. You can also buy them in paperback form on anywhere. There are 16 books in this series, the Lost Fleet series. The Lost Fleet is about 8 books or something like that, and then you have another series that that's kind of the sequel to the first series, and then I think John G. Hemery, and that's Hemry, not Henry, but Hemry. I think he's working on the 3rd series by now. And so the start of this series is you have 2 factions. You have the army, and then you have, and this is all in space, you have the army or the alliance, and then you have corporations called the Syndicate Syndicorp. They're at war with each other. And in one of the battles, the main character, John Geary, also known as John Blackjack Geary, is leading this charge for the Alliance against the Syndicate. And in this battle, he knows that they're going to lose, and so he sacrifices himself to allow the other ships to get away. Well, he doesn't die. He is able to eject from his warship, and there was a malfunction in his life support on this pod, and so he ends up living for 100 years. He's found by the Alliance 100 years later, and he comes to find that the war is still going on. It's a 100-year war, and he is set up as an idol, something to be worshipped. And his tactic of all in to let others leave has become the means of fighting. So there's no more strategy. It's just run at the enemy and attack. And so you get to see how he has to reincorporate tactic, and then he has to deal with people worshiping him. There are other people who want to undercut his authority and want to be in power, and there are some who think that Blackjack Geary needs to be this way and the real person is this. So it's really quite interesting. And John G. Hemery, I believe he was a naval admiral, and so he had to use a lot of strategic planning in wars and battles, and so he brings that to books, and he does a really good job of it. And then the second series that I would recommend by the same author, John G. Hemery, is the Pillars of Reality series, and that's, again, 2 factions of this is on another world, not on Earth, and you have 2 factions of, you have the Mage faction and you have the Mechanics faction, and both are brutal factions. Like the Mages, they just take common people and take them as their slaves, and so do the Mechanics, and just, it's horrible. And so you have a kid on each faction who the kid on the Mechanic side is Marie, and the kid on the Mage side is Elaine. And just due to circumstances, they are able to meet, and they're able to protect themselves, protect each other against enemies, and they end up becoming good friends, and start looking into, well, how can they build a better world, and really, really cool story. And there are 9 books so far in that series. So, and then you've got the Halo series, which is more just the development of this video game made by Bungie. There are 17 books that I have downloaded, and I probably would recommend 14 of them. The first one I'm not going to name all the ones that I would recommend, but the first one's called The Fall of Reach, and so it goes into how the Spartans, this is John 117, the character that you control in the original Halo games, how the Spartans got, how they were started, what augmentations they had to do to get them to be the war machines that they are and everything. And then I'm trying to get through these pretty quickly. And the fifth audiobook series that I would recommend are the Foundation series by Isaac Asimov. These are three books. I think there was a fourth written, but that was more of a prequel book that he wrote later on. If you don't know Isaac Asimov, he's an accomplished American sci-fi author. He's the one who wrote the 3 Laws of Robotics that all sci-fi uses. And the Foundation series, I'm not going to get into, it's been a while since I've read it. Wouldn't necessarily recommend a couple of the books from Audible, just because the reading is just horrific. But I will mention that George Lucas of Star Wars fame was going to employ some of the plot twists that Isaac Asimov uses. He has some really good plot twists in this series, and I would highly recommend just to see the plot twist. It's pretty incredible. And then the last mode of entertainment that I use is YouTube. And so outside of the vinyl community, I have a number of YouTube channels that I do enjoy and would like to mention those as well. So the first one is based on anime. One of my favorite animes was Dragon Ball Z. And actually my other cat, Bato's sister, is named after a character, Videl, in that series, Dragon Ball Z. Well, a team got together called Team 4-Star that created a parody, and I think they just did a couple episodes just to make it kind of fun, and it ended up blowing up, becoming very, very popular. And now Dragon Ball Z has like close to 570 half-an-hour episodes, and so Team 4-Star created a parody of Dragon Ball Z called Dragon Ball Z Abridged. And they have probably gone through 2/3 of the story of the entire Dragon Ball Z series and have done it in about 59. I think we're still waiting on the 60th episode. It's been like a year. Anyway, they add a lot of comedy. They change up some of the characters, like they made the main character Goku or Kakarot just be completely stupid and really, really funny. A lot of the jokes are crude, but there's still a whole lot of hilarity ensuing in a lot of this stuff.
Hey, Trunks! How's the training coming?
I don't know, let's see. Hey, Dad, do you want to train with me?
Golf!
About that well.
Ooh, only on 2 words, huh? I'll go talk to him. Hey, Jeets. I heard you lost your fight pretty bad. But you know what they say, Vegeta. When you fall off that horse, you get right back up, and you eat that horse. Come eat that horse with me, Vegeta.
What the hell are you on about?
All right, the second YouTube channel that I would like to mention, I've mentioned before on my channel, and that's TechMoan. TechMoan does a lot of tech reviews, a lot of weird gadgets. Sometimes it deals with vinyl, sometimes it deals with vintage gear. I remember watching a reel-to-reel guide that he put together 2 or 3 years ago, and almost 4 years ago, and that is a guide that I used to buy my first reel-to-reel deck. That TechMoan I also kind of attribute to getting me into the VC as well. So he's just a really great guy, has a lot of great stuff, and so I highly recommend his channel. The third channel that I would recommend is GameSack. They review and go through the collection of vintage video games that they have, and so they talk about 5 to 10 games of certain genres. Dave and I forgot the other guy's name. Dave and Joe, and they have just this kind of dry sense of humor, and they really interact with each other very well.
All right, Joe, great episode, man. It's really put me in the mood to play some arcade games, so I'm going to head on down there right now. So.
Okay, have fun.
But I was wondering if maybe I could just borrow some money because I don't get paid till tomorrow.
Oh, fine. Have an arcade game on the Joe Meister.
With a quarter?
Yeah.
I'm not having anything on the Joe Meister. Have you heard of inflation?
Oh, yeah.
Come on.
Sorry. My bad.
Prices
Prices have gone up in the last 20 or so years.
Yeah, they really have. And you know what? They've even gone up a lot more than $1 is going to pay for. I can't do anything with this. You got some money there.
Yeah, there you go.
Share a little bit. Jeez. $20 is good, but you know what? That's still only gave me one gameplay, and you know, I'm a great gamer and all, but I'd have to 1cc that thing, which I can't do. So maybe if I could just grab this thing right here, and I'll see you later.
The fourth YouTube channel is Abroad in Japan. Abroad meaning gone overseas, not a woman in Japan. And anyway, it's kind of a play on word for this YouTuber because his last name is Broad. First name Chris. He's from the UK. He's lived in Japan, I think, 6 years, and he's kind of just giving guides of what to do in Japan if you were to go visit, or if you don't know Japanese, how would you be able to survive in Japan, those kind of things. And he does a really great job of editing. He went to film school, and so he's learned the arts of editing and everything. He's just really good at everything he does. He shows a lot of food on his channel, and one thing for me is I've always really respected, especially after getting into anime, I've really respected the Japanese culture and would really love to go visit Japan and maybe even live there for a year or two, just quit everything and just go out there and live. Yeah, I think that'd be a lot of fun. I don't know if I'll ever do that, but we'll see.
I feel a real strong bond with so many of my viewers through the wonderful and appreciative comments that I regularly receive. It's a bond that feels almost spiritual in so many ways. And so every morning, just after I've had my coffee, I love to pop open the comment section and just have a read through, you know, and feel that personal bond and feel that sort of spiritual connection. Ha ha ha, you fat! Oh, funny guy. No, I'm not.
A few years in Japan made you so fat.
Oh, did it?
Abroad in Japan, Christ. You gain weight, you fat bastard.
Chris, you're gaining weight again.
Control yourself. I can't control it. Is it just me, or has Chris gained a lot of weight? Laugh out loud. I have the Chris Broad body, not smiley face. You're getting fat men. What happened to Jim, bro? You stopped going fat.
Oh my god, I genuinely hate everyone and everything that's existed ever. Stupid people. No, actually, it's quite expensive. Yeah, take that pen.
And then the last channel that I would recommend, I was trying to think of like a video game channel that I watch, and I was having a hard time coming up with one, and so I just decided to pick Markiplier. Markiplier, he's been making YouTube videos for a number of years. I think he's at about 16 million subscribers. Kind of along the line of like PewDiePie, but not as rude. He's a really nice guy, and has kind of a radio announcer's voice. And I think the last video series that I really enjoyed that he did was he played the new Resident Evil 7 game, which is bumped the survival horror up a level or two. It just liked watching him play that game. He uses a lot of foul language, but genuinely, I think he's a really good guy, and I really think that he cares for a lot of people. And some YouTubers, you just don't get that from them. And so I think that he has rightfully so gained a lot of followers, and I find him a joy to watch. So Ron, those are the 5 areas of entertainment that I find outside of music. Yeah, again, congratulations on the 500 subs, man. And I really enjoyed getting to know you and your family. In March, I still have all of those records that I have to dive into. I haven't dove into very many of them, and so yeah, I'm so far behind on so many things. But hope you're doing well. Hope you're enjoying these contest videos. Hope you're listening to great music, and hope your family and you are doing well. And everyone, hope you're also listening to great vinyl. And we will talk to you next time.